the more people subscribe, the more this content gets pushed out to more viewers. Those viewers can join this growing community and they can post their tips and tricks, or they can post requests which I'll personally review and then I'll share with everyone. Now with that, let's go to the intro. And it says Master Killer Sudoku Logic. Alright, now just give me a second here. I need to do one little thing. I forgot to start the social streaming ninja. So I have opened it up. Perfect. It's already connected and it looks like it's good to go. Fantastic. Alright. So your chat request, if you post in a live chat, it should appear somewhere around here. Alright, so Sudoku variants offer many exciting fresh challenges for puzzle players. These mathematical puzzles require advanced logic and very sharp mental math skills. Standard Sudoku uses the basic 9x9 grid and box rules. Killer Sudoku introduces special cages with very specific numeric sum totals. So the numbers within these cages must reach exact values when added together. Digits cannot repeat within any single colored cage in the puzzle grid. So beginner programmers can build powerful solvers using local artificial intelligence models now. Logical thinking skills improve greatly through the detailed technical coding exercise. Okay, so we're going to set up the AI environment. So as you guys know, I have a local area, I have ROCms, I have an AMD GPU, everything is local. By the way, I did create a special tutorial for you guys. I think came out about a month ago or so, maybe, yeah, about a month ago, where I showed you how on a laptop with each I just use the CPU and I use the GTP, I think Nano or Neo to run local AI, and obviously you can do the same thing I said with stable hybrid diffusion. So check out that tutorial if you have an underpowered device. Okay, continuing on, I'm going to use the llama.cpp or llama.c++. It's the Llama-server tool runs a powerful and efficient Qwen3 model locally. Your chosen operating system provides a stable and modern environment for developers. So I'm using Fedora, obviously Fedora Linux, Fedora 43 at the time of this recording. So open your terminal window and you can set up. Of course, there's some UIs you can do. For example, if you want to use something like Llama client, you can do all that. But I'm going to squeeze the performance. That's why I prefer going down to Llama. Using llama.cpp. So everything is in Fedora. That's why I did actually a tutorial very recently. I said the reason I use Fedora Linux is because all the AI tools, all that stuff comes in. I don't have to compile it. I don't have to go chasing it. It's modern. It's updated and it's well maintained. By the way, good news about the glasses. I found today I got an email from the company. I didn't realize the glasses actually came from Pakistan. I thought they were coming from the States, so I guess that's why it took so long. So they've arrived in Canada, not just arrived in Canada, they're actually in Etobicoke, so that's about 2.5 hours-ish away from me. So they claimed they were supposed to be, or I guess they arrived yesterday, so hopefully they will deliver it today or tomorrow, so I should have the other glasses pretty soon. Okay. So standard Sudoku logic requires unique digits in every single row and column. Every small 3x3 box also needs a unique numerical digits throughput. Killer Sudoku adds a complexity of mathematical sums to the standard logic. The sum rule creates a much deeper layer of difficulty for players. So I'm going to use the Qwen3. It's going to be a GGUF model because it's 30. It's a 30 billion parameter model, so obviously it's going to struggle on my system. As you guys know, I have 32 gigs of RAM. However, 4 gigs are used for integrated graphics, and then what I also did was 16 of those gigs I used for ZRAM. So ZRAM basically compresses the RAM, so I can basically run a larger model, but it's going to be slightly slower, and I said let's squeeze that performance. So maybe I'll try a bigger model, And with the changes I made recently, it looks like I'll be able to run much larger models. I explained that in the night stream I did yesterday. By the way, if you're on YouTube and if you're watching that live stream, it's only 9 minutes on YouTube, for example, got recorded, but I did record the video itself and I did upload it. I think you should be able to see it tomorrow on the 15th of February. So it is up there. I cut out some parts where things didn't work, so drop it down from over 2 hours to just over an hour. So you can download the Qwen3 GGF model. I'll show you which one I'm using, and basically you put it in the whatever path you want. So in my particular case, I have a specific table for you guys. I put it in my partition, the AI partition, and put it in models. You see this. This is the parameters I use. The context size, I set it pretty large. The reason for that is so that I can have a conversation with the model. For example, if it makes a mistake, I can ask it to do different things. If you make it too small, it will forget 1 or 2 conversations, and then you have to type the same thing, and it's very annoying for conversation wise. So the port number, I chose 8081 because you guys see I always do a lot of stuff for programming or something else. I use port 8080 or 808000. So that's why I chose 8081 for this one. And then the GPU layers. The GPUs I always put 999 because I'm lazy, but this one I think it has 48. I think it has 48 or 49. No, I think it has 49 layers for this particular model, so I can probably put 49 or 50. I don't have to put 999 here. And this is the template engine to be used for the chat template. So ensure GPU offloading is active for much faster processing, the puzzle inference. The NGL, this is the number of graphic layers flag, controls how many layers to use on your graphic hardware. I already explained that. And running the server on localhost, just open up your, I'm going to use the web UI. You can leave it on the command line if you're really tight for resources, but I'm going to use the web UI because it's nice, and you guys can see it as well. And so I've explained that. And what else is here? Alright, so this is cross-platform, so you can run this. If you're on Windows, you can install WSL. I think that stands for Windows System Linux. And then if you're Mac OS, obviously you already have Bash and you have Terminal. You can use Homebrew to install the packages as well. And you can use Python. I'm not going to use Python here. It's just C++. So if you have Python, you can get the Llama-server to create your own by saying, I'm going to use the web UI. It's built into the latest versions of llama.cpp. So after this, so today's tutorial, when we generate the code, I'm just going to run it as is. I am not going to critique it until tomorrow. In tomorrow's tutorial, we're going to critique it, and I'll explain why we do that exercise. So here is the logic in case you don't know how to play Killer Sudoku. Basically, if you have 2 cells, the minimum and maximum sums will be 3 to 17, the range. If you have 3 cells, the minimum maximum will be 6 to 24, and you have 4 cells, minimum maximum will be 10 to 30. So then I explained the mathematical combinations. I'm not going to read this, you guys can easily, we already touched on that. So now, as I said, this model, the AB3 instruct model, is 30 billion parameters, so it's pretty heavy model. So I use the Q5 version, but Q5 XL, KXL, XL stands for extra large. I explained this again, I think just yesterday's tutorial. Yeah, I believe I explained this in yesterday's tutorial. So I'm not gonna go through this again, but basically what that means is that you're able to run much larger models. Let me make sure you guys understand this. Okay, so my system, you see I have 32 gigs of RAM, right? But as I said, the integrated graphics for the 4K monitor and this monitor where I'm recording, it reserves 4 gigs of it. Okay, so that means I only have 28 gigs of RAM to use. However, that is not the end of the story. For example, right now I have OBS, I have the social streaming Ninja, I have obviously Z open. Z doesn't take up, but I have some browsers where I'm doing the I have FFmpeg running. So I'm saying is that you need a little bit of wiggle room as well. So with that, I have the swap file, and now my goal is not to use the swap file, okay, because that's on an SSD and it's very, very slow. So instead, there's something called ZRAM. What ZRAM will do is I increase, by default it was 8 gigs. So what I did was the ZRAM, I increased it to 16 gigs. I'll explain to you why. So what happens is when things need to be used for the swap, it will go into ZRAM. So it'll be a little bit slower. There's a slight penalty, but it's still going to be way faster than the SSD, obviously, which is also faster than the mechanical disk, the magnetic disk drive. So here, this is going to allow me to. So basically, what I'm saying, my swap file is only 24 gigs. So the 16 gigs, it will compress it, and then we add that to the 24, and that's why you see here it will make it much bigger. So that's the trick. So this allows me to run a language model that's way bigger than my system will be able to handle. And obviously, I have the AMD Instinct MI60, which is a 32 gig HD 2i memory. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get models that can all fit inside the GPU. That way I don't have to spit out to memory and then obviously to swap as well. Okay. And what else is here? As I said before, most of this, yeah. So I'll explain this as well. So we show it. So as you can see, this was the output when I ran this for this article. You see it says new game and check logic. Obviously, when you make a change, you can change your logic. So this here, and you don't see anything. And then these are here the screenshots, and this is the live screen. So I'm going to stop it right there. It's absolutely perfect. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where I grabbed the model we're using today. So the model I got it from Hugging Face. You can see here it's the Qwen3 30BA3B instruct 2507 GGUF. So if you see, remember I told you I got this one. This is the one I'm going to use, Q5KXL. It's 21.7 gigs. Now I could easily grab this Q6XL version as well. This one shouldn't be a problem running on my system. But the one I'll have a problem is this 8-bit one. The 8-bit one, you see the 8 itself is 32.5. That's way too big. So it's going to spill over. This will probably be just dumped into in my RAM. So I don't have enough RAM. So I will not run that one or this one. So my preference would be to run this Q8KXL, but that's not going to happen. So I'm going to stick to the Q5 for now. But in the future, another reason is because I'm also space limited until the RAM prices go down, so that's why I stick to. So that's some of the reasons why, even though I can easy run the Q6 ones, I have to be wary about how much space these models take up. And then finally, just put Llama CPP. It's on GitHub. It's by GGML. They have llama.cpp, which runs LLM interface in C and C++. And here is, obviously you can compile it from scratch, but I said I don't need to do this because this comes in with Fedora. So as you can see, it runs Vulkan. This one is the Intel one. I think that's the called Open One API. CPU, GPU, hybrid, custom CUDA, NVIDIA GPUs, AMD GPUs, HIP, more threads. So you guys might recognize some of this stuff because it's the same thing when you do stable diffusion. Apple Silicon, and obviously the CPUs as well. Alright, so I'm going to close those two. And now we're going to go to the command line here, and I'll show you how I installed all these applications. And so I just downloaded. So however you download, I use a parallel downloader. I use Aereo 2, but if you have Z, you can use that as well. So here we go. Now the first thing I'm going to do is zoom in here a bit. Because my GPU didn't come with a cooling apparatus, I have a 3D printed shroud with a 40mm fan that blows right through the GPU. So that's how it's cooled. Because it was from a server, it's expected the server case to cool it. Obviously, I don't have a server case. Okay, so this is the application image. It's an app image which I use to cool the GPU. So this is going to run. I'll show you this later. And now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this command, and I'll explain the command, and then I will. I already explained, obviously. And let me zoom in here a bit. Okay, so sudo. No, before I do sudo, I think it's dnf search llama.cpp, and you see all I did to install this one, llama-cpp. It's a port of Facebook's Llama model in C++. So it's llama-cpp. So that's all I did. I just typed sudo dnf install llama-cpp. Okay, I'm on Fedora 43. So the version that comes with Fedora 43 has one that comes with the web UI. If you get the old one from Fedora 42 or below, it won't come with the web UI. So just beware of that. So here's the command I'm going to run. Llama-server, the model name, obviously I told you it's in chat mode, is Qwen3 30BAB. You see it's the Q5, Jinja, and then the context and the port number, and then the number of GPU units. As I said, I don't need this much. It's only about 48 really I need. So I can just simply run this, and that's what I'm going to do because I'm lazy. But there's a better way to do this. So if you can't do this, I'll show you what you can do. Actually, I should just press Ctrl+C here. Clear this. If you know exactly the parameters, the temperature and all that, which I'll go over in a second. Okay, so where is it here? Okay, so you can also pass the parameters in here. For example, the temperature, the min p, the top p, the top k, and the presence penalty. But if you forget, don't worry. I'll show you how to also do the same thing in the web UI. Okay, so while that's running, I am going to let's see here. I'm going to open up. Thanks again to Qwen3. Qwen3 says nice work. That's from YouTube. So that's running in the background. What I'll do is the cooler should be ready to go. I'll show you the cooler in the background, don't worry. I mean, I'll show you what's happening. So the cooler should be up. So the cooler is on port, there we go. It's this port here, so I'm going to tear that off. And see, this guy is still loading. When it finishes, it will tell you the port number. Now I'm going to just zoom out a little bit, there we go. And you see it found the ROC M, that's AMD. You see it only uses 49 GPU layers. You see GPU, it's only 49. So that's how I was saying, like I put 99, but before I put 999. If you don't know, just make a big enough number then to fill it. So I should really change that to 50. That would work as well. So you see, this is the reason that you see this particular model. The CPU part is only 200 megabytes. So this model, remember this is a Q5 extra large. You see it only takes up about 20 gigs. So obviously there's a lot of wiggle room. As I said, I can easily run the Q6 one as well. It's going to be a little slower to load, but there we go. It's done. You see it tells me to go to port 8081. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to slap this one here and put it here. Let me go to port 8081. There we go. Okay. All right. So this, you see, by default it saves your previous conversations, and this is the one. You see, all you have to do is just type the message you start. You can add attachments, and you can press enter key or just press the button here. And you see server info, you see it loaded my Qwen3 30B 3B instruct 2005 UD Q5 KXL.gguf. Alright, now there are some settings, so we click on settings here. You can see if you add some other type of API stuff, you can add it here. You see this one, the values 0.7. I said there's another way you can add them if you forget. The top K tokens and all this type of values here. And then you can also go to samplers. There are values you can add here as well. There's also penalties. You can do the same thing. You see, you can change the penalties here. What is the person's penalty, for example? It should be here. One thing I dislike is when they do this type of things, they make it a little bit too small to get the name, but it is here. And then there's other like reasoning, as you can see, advanced, and then there's experimental. So I don't need, so I'm just gonna close. Now, in order not to waste any time, I create a prompt to be very specific, because sometimes when I was typing in something like generate a Killer Sudoku, it might not be specific to what I want. So I have a very specific prompt that I'm gonna give it to. I'm gonna give it. Okay, so I'm gonna use the same prompt I gave it earlier, and I'll read the prompt to you. So it says, act as an expert full stack web developer. Create a single file HTML5 application for the playable Killer Sudoku puzzle. Technical requirements: core logic, use a backtracking algorithm in JavaScript to generate a valid 9x9 Sudoku grid. Then implement a function to group adjacent cells into cages with a calculated sum, ensuring every cell belongs to exactly one cage. The HTML5/CSS3, build a clean, responsive 9x9 grid with CSS grid. Cages should be visually distinct. Use thin dashed borders or subtle background colors, with the tangent sum displayed in the top left corner of the first cell of each cage. Interactivity: allow users to click a cell and type a number 1 to 9. Include a check logic button that highlights conflicts in red. Duplicate numbers in rows, columns, 3x3 boxes or cages, and incorrect cage sums. Include a new game button to regenerate the board. Styling: use a modern minimalistic aesthetic. Ensure it's mobile friendly with large touch targets. Okay. Oh, it's running. Oh, I forgot that's very stupid of me. I forgot to turn on the fan. Yikes. I forgot to turn on the fan. The temperature was jumping up. It was 76. It's still okay. So I usually go to 55 so it doesn't get throttled. So I'll do that. Well, I'm lucky it's lucky we're in winter and it's not hot. So okay. So hopefully this will be fine. So when the button, you see the button color changed here, so we know that it's still generating code. So I'm gonna let it finish. Hopefully the code is somehow decent. So I think what I should do is I should open up the file browser so you guys can see what's gonna happen next. Tutorial AI code, and we have the Killer Sudoku. So this was the one that was generated. It was generated by for the article. Oh, it's still running? Wow. GPU temperature is going down though, it looks like. So what is it doing? Wow, okay. It must be explaining stuff. So I'm going to open up the console here because we might need it for something. Yeah, we definitely need it for the web browser when this guy's done. If this guy's finished, what is going on? It's taking forever. Is this still generating code? Okay, it finished generating the code. So while it's writing some explanation, I'll let it finish. So I'm going to create I'm going to touch, I'll call this one index. Okay, it's done. Index2.html. Alright, so this guy can go off. Yeah, this guy can definitely go off. Alright, so you can see its explanation here. I'm not going to read it. So I'm going to grab this code, and then this index2, I'm going to open it up with I guess like the text editor is perfectly fine. Here we go. Paste the code in there. You guys can see I just pasted all I do is just paste the code in there. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a Python server just in case. I haven't looked at the code yet. That's why I'm saying I'm going to use the Python. So you guys don't like encoding tutorials, so I'm not going to explain it. I said we'll review it in tomorrow's tutorial. Python -m. Oops, I should show you what I'm doing here. Let's clean this up. Clear. So I'll zoom in as well so you can see. So I'm just going to use a Python server here. Usually when it's loading stuff locally, it does need one. I don't think I need one for this. I think I really don't need one for this. I should just simply drag and drop into a web browser. I believe that should work. So I'm going to try that first. Okay, so this is the code, HTML. I'm just going to drag it in here. And I don't see anything. So, well, nothing is happening. Alright, so nothing is happening. Alright, so I'll use the Python server just in case. http://server, and I'll put that port 8080. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to go http localhost 8080. And you see this was the old one, which is this one here. And as you can tell, it's not working because I can put new game, check logic, nothing's happening. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try index2.html. So index2 doesn't even load, it's just crashing. So clearly that's basically the tutorial, just to show you that don't believe the hype when you have all these content creators saying, oh yeah, AI is going to replace programmers, people like me. No, it's not. It's going to replace artists, it's going to replace singer-songwriters, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. That's complete hype. So okay, there we go. So the page is unresponsive, so I'm going to exit. So the code is not working as you saw. So I actually I never needed a server. So I just wanted to show you guys that something is off. Something is off. So I'm gonna remove this, put it out of here. Then I'm gonna take this terminal and also make it get out of here. So let me not waste too much of your time. So basically we'll review the code in tomorrow's tutorial and we will optimize it. This is the basis of today's tutorial. Alright, so if you're ready to take your skills further, I have books on Amazon. You can search for Edward Ojambo, the link is in the description. I also have courses on ojamboshop.com. The link is also in the description. And if you're ready for one-on-one tutorials, you can contact me on ojambo.com/contact, or if you want consultations, that's ojamboservices.com/contact. I also have some recommended resources. The first one is this one. It's my novelette. by me, Edward Ojambo. It's psychological thriller about an AI scientist who creates an AI system and loses his mind, so he has to gain control of his mind and the AI system. This novelette, this is the paperback version. I'll talk about the ebook version in a few minutes. Pick it up if you have the means. It's mostly at cost. My latest one is this one, the Recession Business Blueprint. It's a book. It's a guide to help you start a business during a recession. So speaking of AI, right now there is no company making money with AI. So if you're able to come up with an idea or maybe some a team, you will be able to have a profitable business or any type of business, a viable business with AI or something related to AI, or maybe nothing to do with AI. So the Recession Business Blueprint, it's a guide. It will help you whether you need to budget, whether you need to find partners, whether you need to go back to school for some skills. I personally went back to school in 2009 to learn about marketing. So there's no shame with that. You can just, so the Recession Business Blueprint will help you with all of those, answer all those questions and help you with your endeavor. So if you have any questions, I'll show you how you can contact me as well. Oh, and as I promised, for all my books, there's ebook versions. The ebook versions are free if you have Kindle Unlimited, so take advantage of that. If you want to know more about me, I'm a software developer. I'm also an author, and hopefully in the future I'll be an influencer. So my book page on Amazon, the link is here. The Llama-server.com for consultation services, the link is also there. And if you read, learn ojamboshop.com for the online courses. I'm going to revamp ojamboshop.com soon, but just like I revamped obviously ojambo.com and ojamboservices.com, so I'm going to revamp the ojamboshop.com as well. If you want to contact me, you can use a comment form. The comment form is up 14 days after the article goes live, so in this particular case you're free to write about AI, chat models, AMD stuff, because I have an AMD system. All that is perfectly fine as long as it's related to the topic. But the best way to contact me is to use the contact forms, ojambo.com/contact, ojamboshop.com/contact, or ojamboservices.com/contact. If you want to follow me, the channels are Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. Alright, so with that said, I'd like to remind you that you should subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments. The more people subscribe, the more this content gets pushed out to more viewers. Those viewers join this growing community. They can post their tips and tricks, or they can post requests, which I'll personally review and then I'll share with everyone. I'd like to thank everybody who subscribed so far this month. Keep it up. And speaking of subscriptions, I also enabled memberships on all the platforms that do support it, so that's another way you can also support me. Okay, now on to the intro or the outro. Master Killer Sudoku logic. So as I said before, there's an upcoming tutorial tomorrow. So if you want to see what's upcoming in the future, simply just go to watch menu, live sub menu. You can see we just finished this tutorial. Tomorrow we're going to improve the Killer Sudoku performance with event degradation and flat arrays, and obviously make sure it actually works. So that's tomorrow's tutorial. After that, I'll have another AI tutorial where I will generate HDR images. As you heard me right, HDR images with Z Image Turbo and Luminous HDR. All this will be done in Comfy UI. Obviously, Luminous HDR is a separate application. Now, I'll give you both options. You decide which one you want, but we'll do both of them together. And then after that, something that was actually requested. So I'm going to have a podcast where I explain the differences between Podman and Docker for modern development. Then after that, we're going to install OpenVPN on a Raspberry Pi 0W. Okay, and then they said there's a lot of stuff upcoming. This one only shows 5, but there's a bunch of stuff upcoming after that as well. Okay, now speaking of chat requests, there was only I think one chat, which was from Qwen3, who said nice work, thanks again. Be sure to subscribe to Qwen3, it really helps out the channel. And quick reminder, if you're joining this one late, is yesterday I did a night stream. I attempted to get LTX2, the image to video, working, and I did actually get it working. Unfortunately for YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, or if you were watching on YouTube, is that it cut out after 9 minutes. All the other platforms are fine except for YouTube. I don't know why. So on YouTube, what I did was I recorded the video. I cut out some parts, obviously, which didn't work, or just which didn't make sense because I changed my mind, or I had to change because there were errors. So I cut it down from just way over 2 hours to about just over an hour. So that should be live for you guys tomorrow. I think it's at 11 p.m. It's 11 p.m. or 1 p.m. I can't remember. Oh, I think I can check. I'll tell you exactly what time it's going to be. Just give me a second here. So that video is going to be at what time is it scheduled for? It's 1 p.m. So 1 p.m. on February 15, 2026. That's when that video up. So be sure to check it out if you missed the live stream. All right. So with that said, I am going to leave you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. I don't think I'll do a night stream today because well, we never know. There's a lot of stuff. No, I can't do one because I want to optimize the LTX, so, and then write an article. So then that will be hopefully that will be in the next tutorial next week. And there's a bunch of stuff I want to get through, and there's a lot of stuff to share. But I will, if I finish, I might do one. But definitely, I'll do one in about 2 days. Okay, bye guys.